Hey, it's Rachel Pontillo from CreateYourSkincare.com and HolisticallyHope.com, and today we're talking to Richard Merrill-Rivas of Phoenix Apothecary Organic Skincare. Richard is also an aesthetics instructor and is going to share with us today his Create Your Skincare story. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Richard. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So, Richard, you are someone who I really wanted to interview about Create Your Skincare because obviously you took Create Your Skincare and you took it about a year ago, but I really am interested to hear your perspective because not only do you have Phoenix Apothecary, which is your organic skincare line, but you're also an aesthetics instructor. So I really am curious because I know you recommend this course to your students, and I'm sure our audience would love to hear why that is and what specifically you think estheticians have to learn from this course.
I took this course initially looking to understand ingredients and how they affect different skin types. I was really inspired by you, being that you have a larger conversation about acne skincare because of your personal experience. And that's something I don't know that lot about because I have dry skin and I kind of have boring skin that doesn't do anything, just regular maintenance. So I'm not a good test dummy.
Boring skin, that's a first.
Come to me, my clients, my students, they come to me for advice, and I wanted to understand formulations. I wanted to understand emulsions better, and why does this ingredient work for this skin type, whereas it doesn't work for another skin type. And Create Your Skincare was a intro for me and kind of a diving deeper into understanding how each ingredient works, because I was an ingredient geek, but only from what I could find real quick on the internet. I wanted to learn more. And that's what I tell my students too, is you see their excitement and they want to know more and they have all these questions. And I tell them, you have to continue education. I think no matter what industry you're in, continuing education is really important.
Oh, I'm definitely a proponent for lifelong learning. I feel like we have this big old life and there's just so much out there to learn that can benefit us in our personal lives. And it's especially great, I feel like, if it benefits you personally, but also if it has to do with what you do for a living and helps you help other people.
When we learn whatever that is and we hone that skill, it becomes so much easier to build a profession around it, because the profession is really about taking what you love and sharing it with others. Right. And hopefully making money doing the same.
It's always good when that happens, isn't it?
It is.
Earlier in your career, you actually worked for different product lines, different brands, and that's how we met, when you were a rep for a certain brand that I was potentially going to do business with earlier in my career, and then we kind of just started off with email exchange, and then we found each other on social media, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, we really like each other, and we became lifelong supporters of each other, which I love. But tell me about how your experience working for different brands and learning about different ingredients from their standpoint kind of differs from what your perspective was in wanting to learn about ingredients from a neutral ingredient standpoint.
So I started my career working as an independent rep for a company that their focus wasn't products, it was price. And then I went into school to become an esthetician, which obviously pushed my knowledge forward. And therefore, kind of the end result was I needed to push the products I was supporting forward. I've been really blessed to travel around the United States and not only learn from the brand perspective about ingredients and why they have their brand philosophy, but also from the consumer and the spa professionals that I worked with, what their needs were, what they were looking for in a product line. And through that, I developed my own kind of philosophy. And I always kind of stuck with companies that were organic, natural, wild-crafted, because that was always part of my personal philosophy. But I also felt limited in those positions because I was always limited to the brand's philosophy. And if there was ever something that I didn't agree with, I could voice it internally, or I could voice it and hope to change it. But that's where that conversation stopped. As my philosophy grows and I get more confident in being the expert in what I know and what I share, I really wanted to be able to have an educational piece that truly let me understand formulations. And that's where Create Your Skincare came in. Is I've worked with a lot of different brands and I've learned a lot of different philosophies, and I was ready to create my own. I was ready to take everything that I had learned and put it together into its own unique brand that was mine. But also, I didn't want to just buy products from somebody else, stick them in a jar, and sell them without knowing or being able to have a conversation with formulator, being a formulator. I wanted it to be a even playing field, that I knew what I was asking for and they knew what I was asking for, and it was a relationship and a partnership, and Create Your Skincare gave me the ground to stand on to be able to ask for that.
I'm really happy to hear that, because I know before I started with Create Your Skincare, I certainly toyed around with the idea of having my own line. And I knew what I knew about ingredients just based on aesthetics education and then just my own kind of tinkering around. I hadn't yet gone through any cosmetic chemistry or herbalism education or aromatherapy or anything like that. And I talked to a couple of different contract labs. I talked to a couple of different private labeling companies. And I definitely found that I felt I was in over my head. And I would bet money that a lot of estheticians who are looking to not compete with Amazon anymore, I would guess that they're experiencing the same thing, because the retail market has been affected in such a significant way because of Amazon and online sales.
100%. And I have nothing against private labeling, but what my biggest concern was being able to understand what I was asking for. What did I want in a product if I was going to take that route? The only thing that matters about a brand that you select is that it matches your philosophy. Beyond that, you really need to understand the ingredients, and the ingredients have to meet the market that you're going to demograph to. But the truth is the brand is the founder's story.
Right.
The products, the estheticians get to have a relationship with that story, and they relate to it, and then the consumers relate to it. But that connection comes from understanding, why did this product work for me? That's, I think, the difference between a consumer recommending a product and an esthetician recommending a product. A consumer recommends it from a space of, it worked for me because this is what it's for. An esthetician says, this is why it's going to work for your skin. This ingredient is going to heal this. This ingredient is going to calm that. The consumer isn't looking to come into a car wash anymore. They're looking to come in and understand, what are you doing to my skin? What are these products going to change in my skin? And there's a lot more consultation happening in the treatment room again these days.
And that's a great thing.
To know that.
Oh, it's such a good thing, because estheticians, I really feel like they have such a unique and special position, because they're able to relate with people on a very personal basis, and they can also really provide a lot of education. People don't just want to pick products off a shelf anymore and then just try them without knowing if it's right. I mean, that the trial and error, the amount of money that you can waste on products that are wrong, that it's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I would like to talk more about your skincare line, Phoenix Apothecary, and I would love to know how what you learned in Create Your Skincare helped you make those ingredient decisions.
It was really exciting for me, and touching base, learning about anhydrous and emulsions and exfoliants and how they work with the skin, and kind of going back to that. But some of the things that I was really looking for was the bio-individuality of how to make a product that's not a one-size-fits-all product, but how to be able to understand the ingredients that I chose for the clients that I'm choosing. And I'm not a custom formulation brand where I custom formalize for every client I have. I am a kit company where I do put together products in a regimen so that you see results. And so Create Your Skincare allowed me to look at the ingredients that I was choosing and make sure that they were actually for the desired outcome in the end product. Because I think that a lot of companies, when they decide on products, they go just a step below where they could go, so that they have more of a one-size-fits-all approach, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted professional results products that were active, but the organic natural conversation is still of kind of nerves, brings up nerves, especially when you talk preservatives.
Sure.
How do you stay clean but have a product that is preserved well enough to meet market demand?
Mm-hmm.
I still am having that preservative conversation. I'm very honest about that in my conversations with my clients is, no, this product is not meant to sit on your shelf for 5 years. It's meant to be purchased and it's meant to be
Use
used.
it.
Which that's a whole nother battle for a
That's
whole
a
nother
whole other
day.
battle. Use your
But,
products.
you know, I'm confident in the things that I'm sending out there, and I've made decisions around preservatives. Right now, the formulations that I've chosen are pretty steady. They're sturdy and they stand on their own, but I am looking because I'm in this growth phase. I'm about to celebrate the 1 year anniversary, and I'm expanding into wholesale. And estheticians, who I work with on a regular basis, and student estheticians, they have questions about the longevity. How long is this going to sit on my shelf?
Mm-hmm.
The reality is you have to plan for that. And the preservative conversation that we had was really gave me the confidence to be able to make a decision and jump, because I've been planning this brand for 10 years now. It was until I decided to take Create Your Skincare and really understand formulations. How, when I put, like, soap is always my favorite analogy to use.
Mm-hmm.
When you put lye in soap, it becomes inert through the chemical process.
Right.
Other ingredients, and that's the easiest way to explain that to other people, but certain preservatives have the same reaction. Certain ingredients, when mixed together for emulsions, for your exfoliants even, they have different results when they're mixed. The synergy of the ingredients change the end result.
Absolutely.
And I'm confident in that now.
Mm-hmm.
When the decisions that I make are because of the education that I have. It's broken down into layman's terms where we're discussing it with one another, where we understand it. And all those little factors play a big key in why Create Your Skincare was so successful and why Phoenix Apothecary is so successful now.
Awesome. I love that perspective. So I have one more question for you. What was your favorite part of Create Your Skincare?
Anhydrous, because I don't think I really understood them, because the basis of the word is lacking water or
Right.
no water. And so I didn't understand the product world about how that, and I don't think that I even realized that I was using products that's what they were. I kind of always in my mind thought every product was an emulsion, to be very honest.
So did I for a while. I thought
today.
everything was a cream or a lotion. I had no idea the whole world of, butters, balms, salves, oh my, oil serums, what? I mean, it really is a whole new world that has so much benefit to the skin.
And oil cleansing. I have an oil cleanser in my line, and I personally like them, being from the dry world, the dry skin world. I love oil cleansers. But understanding them and explaining that to other people had been a challenge for me. Because they're like, well, why do I need a product? Why can't I just use plain olive oil?
Right.
Or why can't I use a plain carrier oil? To get the best results, you have to have a blend that works well together and all the ingredients come together for a single purpose to move the skin forward. And Create Your Skincare, the conversations and the charts and the tools that we receive really gave me the ability to be able to create synergistic blends that work well and give results. I've been really excited getting the testimonies back.
Yay! I'm so excited to hear that. And as a longtime member of our Create Your Skincare community, you've, I'm sure, noticed that the course has changed since you took it.
I have to be honest here. I was really nervous for you when you said lifelong member. Being someone that is an educator and comes from an education standpoint and is currently building my own little education for my brand, lifelong terrifies me hearing it, let alone doing it. But I have to say that's one of the greatest benefits, and it works so well for this program, because like Create Your Skincare for the holidays and the gemstone bonus, like these different conversations that have come after. I was part of the very first crew
You were.
that went through the course a year ago. And so every time we put in input, it's really cool to see our input brought back into the course. And we're still here. We're still part of the conversation.
Right.
And it's really, I think for me being the educator, it's really exciting to see the new students coming into the class who have really exciting questions and what they bring to the conversation, especially when you think of things generationally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look at this classroom like generations, each new class that comes in brings a whole new kind of energy to this conversation and moves us all forward. You know, when you're new to an industry, everything, you want to absorb everything. But when you've been in it for 10, 13, 20, 40 years, you kind of get stuck in your way. And I think that the most exciting thing that people are going to see after the course is the ability to still continue to grow and learn, but then to do exactly what I'm saying, take what you've learned or your experiences and share them with the new generations that are coming in. And so this network that we've built and this environment is so exciting to be part of, but just to be a watcher sometimes, just to watch people make mistakes, turn their skin orange, and then learn from that. You know, everything we do is about learning, and it's done in a safe space.
Right.
We all get to make mistakes, we all get to learn, and we all get to support and celebrate together too. I think it's really important to celebrate successes.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you're new in a business, like myself a year ago, being part of a group like this allows me to come and share with other people who have the same philosophies, ideas, or at least an understanding of skincare. Maybe not the same philosophies. We get to share that with each other and celebrate. Oh my God, guess what I just did? Or oh my God, I just made this and gave it to my mom, and she's seeing results in her skin, and she's so happy. It's those little things that we take for granted in life, but this network, the education is so important, but the environment is so much more. And it really has been amazing to be part of and watch.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you say that. And I'm really thrilled to have you as a lifelong member of our community. I mean, you've already added so much to our community. So I'm really excited for all of our future students to connect with the both of us in the Create Your Skincare community. And I thank you so much for taking the time to share your Create Your Skincare story with us. And
thank you so much for having me. And for everyone who's considering this course and for everyone who's in this course, I hope you get and you learn and you understand that we're all here for each other, and that if you have questions, reach out and ask.
Definitely.
You know, the hardest thing to do is to ask a question sometimes, but that's when your greatest successes come along. And we're all honestly here for each other.
Thank you so much for watching, and thanks again to Richard for joining us today and sharing his Create Your Skincare story. If you want to be part of the Create Your Skincare community and learn how to create a complete skincare regimen for you or for someone else that you might be making products for, come on over to createyourskincare.com. Our next semester starts soon. Thanks so much. This is Rachel Pontillo, and I will see you in class.